Metacritic Roundup.
Thanks for joining us in the Metacritic Roundup, everyone. I know like a lot of podcasts like to pretend that their like segments are different podcasts, but you know what? That's very 2021.
Yeah.
Us in Hitbox, we're thinking about 2025, all right? This is just one show. Like I'm peeling back the layers of the pageantry that we do here. It's one show. Metacritic Roundup's not a new podcast. It's the same podcast.
Same podcast.
I'm not playing a trick on you. Let's talk about Saints Row. Apparently, this is not a very good game. Justin, it has the PlayStation 5, it has a 63. On PC, it's got a 67. On Xbox Series X, it's got also a 67. This has not done well. Apparently, this is a very buggy game, among other things. Apparently a lot of people are saying like, hey, this feels like an open world game from, like 2010 or so, which,
Like a Saints Row game.
the Saints Row series, right? But it just doesn't feel like it's really advanced at all. And that its messaging is like kind of toothless with what it's about in terms of being like, hey, being alive is really hard right now in terms of finances. But it doesn't take that point like seriously at all. And then the fact that it doesn't take anything seriously wouldn't necessarily be a problem. It is a Saints Row game, but apparently it's not very funny either, which is a subjective thing. But I guess for someone like me who has never really found the Saints Row series to be particularly funny, like I guess I wasn't expecting that, especially when in the trailers it was like, oh no. But what do you think about this, man?
I mean, I think this is like the worrisome part of game previews because I was reading a lot about this game because I'm very invested in this game doing poorly thanks to our open critic fantasy draft because I've counterpicked it.
Yes.
So I was really hoping it would do bad. And then as like the preview cycle was coming out, people were getting extended playing with it, and they were like, it's actually pretty okay. And I was like, oh, okay. And they did some cool things with it. Remember the character creator? They released that ahead of time so you can make your character and get it ready. And the kind of character abominations you could make in the game looked fun. It looked like a good character creator. So I am sitting here being like, shit, this is going to be like a hidden 92. Like, this is going to be, I'm going to lose all the points, no hopes of winning. And then I get the first inkling of the review score, and I was like, oh, thank God, this is what I expected it to be. Because this is what I expected this game to be. There's no way looking at that. It looked like, hey, maybe we're going to do a more gritty take on the Saints Row series. But it turns out, no, they just put a nicer graphical system on an old Grand Theft Auto kind of clone from the early to mid 2000s. And they haven't iterated on that formula literally at all.
Yeah. That's the thing, right? Like, the idea of playing a Saints Row game like in 2022 is kind of like, well, this used to be like a clone or like a pretty substantial copy of a GTA. And then it sort of found its own way by being more of a parody as opposed to being a copy. But it just isn't anything, right? And a lot of people did say though that like the preview is good because the preview is the first like 2 hours, but like that's like where like the good stuff is like front loaded, and then after that it's just like a completely unforgettable, forgettable experience and all that.
And it's like repetitive over and over again. I think the VGC review, they say, I think this kind of captures. They gave it a 40. It's a below average open world game that's stuffed to the bursting with bugs, and the best thing we can say about it is that making our Tobias Funke inspired character crouch over and do the wanker gesture while he walked down the street made us laugh. Probably not quite worth the price of admission.
I will say this is the kind of game that like I wish I had access to early, just to like play it and go like, just to like see it. But it's not the type of thing I would ever really pay any money for, you know what I mean? But by the time it's getting, tossed around as a, free game on PS Plus or Game Pass or whatever, it'll be like in a year, and I just won't have any interest in like checking it out.
I mean, even if it was on PS Plus, I think like a perfect like barometer in my mind for a game that is a fine game, I just don't want to pay for it right now would be when Ghostwire Tokyo came out. Like that game wasn't like horrible, right? It was just like a very like okay game, if not worse than okay. Like it was just fine.
Yeah, it's like a 60, right?
I mean,
like
dude,
out of 100.
I mean, it was at least an okay platinum.
No, it was a bad platinum.
Oh, okay, then never mind.
Oh,
But,
it was Justin. It was a I got the platinum because I put enough work into it when I was like looking at it, and I was like, if I abandon this, I will have my time will be wasted, right? No, it was a very bad platinum.
Got it. Okay, so I mean, that would be a game that I think is to the level of seeing the reviews and everything. I would be interested in checking out. When it came to streaming services or whatever. But this is a game that when it comes out, I'll be like, you know that old Saints Row game, the one where they're superheroes? I should probably play that one, right?
Yeah. That's the thing. It just seems like if you want to play Saints Row, go play those because those are still fun.
Yeah.
Ghostwire Tokyo will eventually be on Game Pass.
Oh, I can't wait for that because I think, again, I will play it. Can't wait's the wrong word. I can wait. When is it going to come out next year? Like right when everything else is coming out, like middle to late February, March?
I mean, that's when it came out. That's when it came out this year, and I imagine it has a 1 year lifespan.
Is that when Final Fantasy VII Remake is going to come out to Game Pass too?
Is that happening?
No. I mean, it was like one of those things like when it could come out. We don't know for sure if it could come out. But like,
no, I think because it's on PC. I think that's what they're talking about with the console exclusivity, right?
Yeah.
But